In this video, I want to talk about the connections between Trump and Russia. I've talked about Russia, I've talked about China and other topics like that. And let's talk about the Trump administration, how they connect with Russia. In the 80s, Trump was, of course, a real estate magnate. He did a lot of very well publicized deals and the deal maker, and you had that book written and whatnot. If you have time, definitely look at what the author of that book says about Trump. Fascinating read. But Trump got a lot of foreign investment from Russians. Why Russians? Well, in the 90s, after the Soviet Union collapsed, you've got a lot of Russian mafia, the growth of new oligarchs in Russia, basically dividing up and selling all the resources of the former Soviet Union and getting a lot of money for it, taking over the services, taking over the oil and gas industry, etc., etc. And they need to put their money somewhere. They were smart enough to realize Russia is very much boom and bust, so that money's got to go somewhere. A lot of it flowed through Cyprus. Cyprus being a tax haven, Cyprus being where a lot of mafia money flows through for a long time now, and so Russians simply took advantage of that. But they definitely also wanted to invest in the United States in the real estate market and make some big money there. And who could they connect with in the New York real estate market? Well, Trump is not a very good businessman, not a good businessman at all. So the banks there eventually got tired of lending him money. The local industrial real estate people in New York really know what a shyster Trump is. They don't want to lend him money, but here you've got all of these Russian oligarchs, and they want to take their money and they want to invest in American real estate, New York, and Trump's there, and he's willing to take it. He's willing to take it, and Putin, having been KGB, would have been able to realize a long time ago, here's this American business guy, he's very well known, we can manipulate him, use him, funnel our money through him, and it will be a great way for us to hide all that money, because Putin is deeply connected with the Russian oligarchs. It's almost hard to say whether he's got more influence than these people do, or whether they control him. That's a discussion for a different time. But Trump was very happy getting all of this money from the Russian oligarchs and helping them to secure real estate deals and keep their money in the United States. So Trump has been dealing with these banks, Deutsche Bank, banks in Cyprus, etc. So they've had their fingers in his cookie jar for decades. Long time. That's why you don't really hear Trump ever, no matter how far back that you go, talking badly about the Russians. Maybe at some point he did, but it's been a long time. Now, Trump himself may be very quiet as to his dealings. We have got no investments in Russia. There's no Russia. There's no collusion. But his sons have been very open about this because they're Trump's sons, and so they brag and they're boisterous, and they talk about all this Russian money that they're getting, all this foreign investment from Russia, etc., etc., all these dealings with Russia. So thank you so much, Eric. Thank you so much, Don Jr. And it's easy to believe that Jared has a lot to do with this too, given that his family's also in real estate in New York. Again, terrible business people themselves, but they get all this money from Russians, then they get all this money to spend and look like they're doing great with, right? Just as long as they hide the majority of it for the Russians so that they, are doing the bidding of their masters, more or less. So there's been really interesting journalism work done in the Netherlands. There's a great documentary that you can certainly find yourself if you just Google it, that goes back and looks at the connections between this Russian money and Trump and how far back it goes. Very fascinating stuff. Trump will do the bidding of his Russian masters. They've been planning to get him elected for a very long time. They saw that the winds were blowing in that direction in 2016. They felt that Hillary Clinton was going to be probably an easy target for them because their GOP has been attacking her forever. And again, got nothing on her. I was totally thrilled with the idea of getting Hillary Clinton as president because she'd simply be a boring president. She wasn't going to lie us into war like Bush. She wasn't going to be as dynamic or as divisive as people saw Obama to be. No fault of his own. It just, I guess, too many Americans can't stand the idea of a mixed-race president. And I thought it'd be great to have a woman in charge for a change. But Clinton as Secretary of State, and even through all her previous political career, has been aggressive towards Putin and aggressive towards Russia, and rightfully so, because they are a danger on the world stage and they are a threat. So, how do you deal with the threat of someone coming in that won't be nice to you? You work on an idiot and build that idiot up and get people to say, oh, look, he's for you. He's going to do what you need. He's the voice of America. Vote for him. And funding and funding and funding. And yeah, he's gotten so much help thanks to Mother Russia. So again, these are my thoughts on the topic. All of this stuff that I've, led me to this conclusion is all stuff that I've read, and it's all available online. So please start Googling, please start digging around, and find out for yourself, because the connections are really there. And Merry Christmas, Mr. Mueller. Please do your job. Bless you, and we'll see where that leads us. Thanks very much. Have a great day.